Now we're going to take a look at the basic tools in Animate. So to create a new project, you go up here and click Create New. And that will give you this screen here. So here you can select your frame rate. Usually the standard is 24. And here you can select your width and height of your canvas. Okay, so this is what your workspace looks like. So I'm going to go over some of the basic tools before we get into how to use the timeline. Okay, so up here you can find your basic drawing tool. The shortcut for this is B. And if you want to erase, you can either click E or the button down here. If you want to select an object that you've drawn, you can click V or the arrow tool up here and select. And now if you want to skew this around, you can press Q or the free transform tool down here. So this allows you to skew your drawings, while the normal selection tools lets you move it around. If you want to change the color of your brush, you just go in here, and here you can select a color, or you can go to your color picker. And if you want to go ahead and change the brush size, make sure to select your brush tool here, and then this menu over here will pop up. Here you can select your brush size. Same goes for the eraser. So here you can select the eraser size now. And if you don't want your brush and eraser to be the same size, make sure to unbox the button here. If your brush is uniform like this, go ahead and click this button down here to get pen pressure. And if you switch back to your selection tool, your document settings will pop back up here. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the timeline up here. So each box up here represents one frame. So in this case here, we only have one frame on this layer. So if I draw something here and then try to play it, nothing happens. So to extend this layer, I will go ahead and click the layer and click F5. And each time I click F5, it will add one frame. So if I play this now, this will play for 20 frames. And you can see our playhead up here moving. So it's not changing because we don't have any animation yet. So if we want to start animating on this layer now, we can cut this layer up into smaller pieces. And to do that, you would move your selector and then click F6. Now we have cut this up, so we have one drawing here for 2 frames and this next drawing for 18 frames. And then I can click up here, that will select everything on the layer and I can delete it. And then I can draw something else. And now if we play from the beginning, we will see that the first drawing only holds for 2 frames. So usually we would animate on 2s, and there's an easy way to cut this layer up into increments of 2. To do that, you would select your layer up here, right click, go convert to frame by frame animation, and then every other frame. And now we have multiple blocks up here being held for 2 frames each. So now we can start animating. To add a new layer, you can click the button up here. And to make a folder, to organize your layers, you click here. And then you can pull your layers into that folder. And to delete, you just click the trash bin. Now, one of the most important tools when you do cell animation is the onion skinning. So I'm going to start out by doing a drawing here. And now I'm going to go to the next frame. And now to see the previous frame, I go ahead and click the button up here. That will turn our onion skinning on. So now I can see the frame before the current drawing. So then I can go ahead and make another drawing. And I can then move to the next frame. So as you can see, we only see the previous frame right now. So if we want to see more frames, we can pull these handles up here. And that will allow us to see more or less frames. There's another useful tool up here called Edit Multiple Frames. If we select that tool, it works the same way as the onion skinning where you have your handles. But now we can grab multiple frames and move them around. and then we can turn the tool off, and now both our drawings have been moved. And to play your animation, you either click the play button up here, or you hit return. And if you want your playback to loop, you can click this button up here. And then you can pull out the handles and hit play. If you want to make cleaner lines, like say how you would do in Illustrator, you can go ahead and click P and you'll get your pen tool. With this tool, you can add strokes. And to change the stroke width, you can select the stroke with your selection tool, and then the stroke settings will pop up here. I usually use the pen tool when I clean up my work because it gives you really clean lines. And if we want to export this as a file that we could easily import into After Effects and manipulate, we can go to File, Export, Export Movie. Now we can save a file type called a SWF. This is a file that is very light for After Effects to use, and it's a file type that is still vectorized, so you can scale this file up and down in After Effects without losing any form of resolution. To zoom in our workspace, we can use this tool down here, and then we can click to zoom in, and hold Alt to zoom out. If we want to navigate our workspace when we're zoomed in, we can use this tool down here. That will let us drag the canvas around. Okay, so that's it for the basics of Animate.